Hello, this is Haki. It's time for the Dungeon Master introduction. Hajike-san. Hello, yes, hello. Recently, Kunihiko Katsuta confessed, and one of the unsolved cases was resolved, but that's an old case. For example, after releasing a video, have you ever received new information or had any scary experiences? While you were on break, Hajike-san, there were sleepless nights when I wondered if you yourself had become an unsolved case. If there's anything that stands out, please let us know. Thank you for always supporting us. There are quite a few times when the situation ends up being different from how it was back then. This time, I'd like to introduce a few of the most memorable ones from among them. First, it's less about coercion or strong feelings and more about being completely threatened. I'd like to tell you about it. I've talked about this a few times before, so some of you may already know. After covering certain accidents and incidents, I received threats. This is the Kochi Elementary School student drowning case, where a student died in a river. Unclear facts and inconsistencies in the children's testimonies have left parts of the case unresolved. The police response was sloppy. This case makes me extremely angry. After I posted the video, it seems like things escalated immediately. I started receiving direct messages like this from accounts like these. If you don't delete the video about the water accident, I'll kill you. Treating the children who were with me as if they were perpetrators is a violation of their human rights. The person who died is to blame, and it's that kid's fault. I don't know anything. Honestly, it made my blood boil when outsiders tried to butt in. But I contacted the bereaved family directly and carefully examined the information, asking questions solely out of a desire to uncover the truth. So I'm sorry for causing trouble or concern over something like this. I chose to keep it to myself, not wanting to trouble anyone. After that, although I'm not sure if it was related to this matter, I also received a letter from an unknown sender. The contents were typed on a word processor and simply said, "Stop YouTube," but it was clear that they had identified me as Hajiga. I was deeply chilled by this, but after a while, things like this stopped happening. I imagine that the bereaved family asked for signatures and hoped for the investigation to continue and the truth to be revealed. But as time passed, public interest faded. They believed public interest was fading and thought they'd get away with it. Does having that kind of mindset mean there is, after all, a guilty reason behind it? The truth behind it is still unknown. It's still not clear, but I hope everyone will remember this matter once again and not forget about it. So, that was the first story. For the second one, I'd like to share a direct message I received from a younger sister who lost her older sister in an incident. I'll keep the details of the incident vague to prevent identification. Because of their parents' situation, the sisters were placed with separate families. After that, the older sister passed away due to abuse. The younger sister knew that her older sister had passed away, but it seems there were some details she didn't know. On November 3rd, 2024, I received a Dungeon Master from the younger sister saying, "I'm the younger sister of XX. There is a video like this. I didn't have the courage to watch it at first, but I finally watched it recently. I'm not sure how to express it, but thank you." Even as her younger sister, I don't know what happened or how things ended. I didn't really understand how things ended up like this, but I'm glad I got to hear and learn things I never knew before. I'm not sure if it's okay to say something like this to Hajiga-san, but since so many years have passed, I think everyone has forgotten. That's what I've always thought. Thank you for uploading this video like this. I investigate incidents and make videos like this, hoping that I can convey even just one thing to everyone. But I often wonder if what I'm doing really has any meaning, or if I'm actually disrespecting the victims and their families. There are many times when I struggle with these thoughts, but receiving words like this makes me want to express my gratitude instead, and I will never forget it. I already told your younger sister in a direct message, but she is a wonderful person. I sincerely hope that she continues to live a beautiful life. Thank you for saying that. This will be the last one. As stated in the title, I'd like to talk about the matter of being contacted by the ex-wife of a murderer. Who contacted me? It was the ex-wife of the person considered the perpetrator in the Nagayoshiuchi arson-murder case that occurred in Saitama Prefecture in 2022. Let me say this in advance before I continue. Please understand that what I'm about to discuss is based on what I heard from the ex-wife, so her feelings and the facts, such as the court verdict, are separate matters. Also, please be aware that the ex-wife has absolutely no intention of discrediting the victim. Now then, let's continue. About a year ago, I made a video about this. If you would like to know the details of this case, please watch this video. The victim was the only member of the Nagayoshi family, Mr. Nagayoshi Ryo, age 43. The cause of death was asphyxiation. However, it was later discovered that he had been severely beaten and was set on fire while still alive. About half a year later, the perpetrator was not identified and various speculations were circulating, but finally, the perpetrator was arrested. Suspect Wataru Kikuchi, who was 37 at the time, and suspect Toshiki Onishi, who was 31 at the time. Both of them were craftsmen working in interior finishing. They were taking on jobs that Mr. Nagayoshi had secured. However, they were dissatisfied with unpaid daily wages and being shortchanged, which led them to commit the crime. The biggest factor that led to the arrest of the suspects in this case was security. It has been reported in the news that the examination of camera footage and cell phones, as well as the messages exchanged on the phones, revealed part of the crime plan, which led to the arrests. This is the information about the case. In mid-September 2024, the trial will begin soon, according to Mr. Onishi's ex-wife. She contacted me and asked if I could listen to the details after it was over. Why? She said it's because she doesn't want the story to spread based only on what's reported in the news. In the news about this case, it was reported that the two people who were arrested conspired and committed the crime, but there isn't much detailed information about it. But because she is Onishi's ex-wife, she knows various things that others don't. What Onishi did is absolutely unforgivable and something that can never be undone. But it seems that Onishi was lied to and deceived by Kikuchi in some ways. First of all, as mentioned earlier, the two of them were dissatisfied with Nito's non-payment and skimming, which led them to commit the crime. It's a bit complicated, since there was no non-payment to begin with. A few days before the incident, Kikuchi told Mr. Nagayoshi he lacked money for materials. Since Mr. Nagayoshi also didn't have any money on hand, he borrowed 3 million yen from an acquaintance in order to lend it to Kikuchi, and then he lent it to Kikuchi. So, in order to avoid repaying the debt, Kikuchi told Onishi that there was an unpaid amount from Mr. Nagayoshi. He lied, saying he would file a lawsuit and got Onishi involved, who believed him. It is said that this led to the current case. The two were senior and junior colleagues at their previous company. Yes, and their relationship was reportedly very hierarchical. Defendant Onishi began working at Oki Interior near the end of 2021. By then, Oki Interior was already working for Mr. Nagayoshi, and 2 or 3 months later, it was said that defendant Onishi made mistakes even when following Mr. Nagayoshi's instructions. He was made to take the blame for all those mistakes. He began complaining about it. Defendant Onishi had a prior panic disorder diagnosis, and his medication dosage increased afterward. He slowly couldn't get up in the morning. As a result, the company stopped covering his transportation costs, required him to pay 800,000 yen for the earlier mistake, and reduced his salary to entry level. Falling into such a vicious cycle, Onishi became visibly exhausted, and finally, in May 2022, this incident occurred. He was told by Kikuchi, "I'll distract him, so you go get the weapon." While Kikuchi was distracting Mr. Nagayoshi by talking about motorcycles, Onishi struck Mr. Nagayoshi 3 times from the neck to the head with a crowbar, causing him to lose consciousness. Kikuchi then told him to give up the crowbar. It was reported that there was a large amount of bleeding. I will refrain from further details, but why Kikuchi? Did the defendant really care that much about money? It was because of debt. Until now, this was not known, but on October 22, 2024, Kikuchi. It has been revealed that the defendant suffered a huge loss in gambling before the incident. And then, on November 7, 2024, after the verdict for defendant Onishi, the main issue in the second half of the trial was Onishi's active involvement. The issues were whether there was intent and whether there was murderous intent. The police requested a 24-year prison sentence. Conversely, the defense claimed defendant Kikuchi planned the killing method and details. Defendant Onishi played a minor role, being approached by Kikuchi, so they argued for an 18-year sentence. Presiding Judge Kaneko of the Saitama District Court noted that Onishi and an accomplice killed the victim and set the fire. He was offered the plan to commit the crime and distrusted the victim. He said he believed killing the victim was acceptable. Also, Kikuchi got the crowbar before the defendant gave instructions. Kikuchi delivered the first blow. The defendant took the lead, and Onishi was actively involved. They carried out the crime. Though not the main perpetrator, he played an essential role. With clear intent to kill, the crime was dangerous and brutal, making his responsibility very serious. Given these factors, the court sentenced him to 23 years in prison. The trial of Kikuchi, who has also been indicted for the same crime, will begin soon. Attention is focused on that testimony, as well as on Onishi. I would like to verify the consistency with his wife's story. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.